All right. Boom, boom. Yeah, we are live. We are live. Gonna wait for some people to hop in, all that good stuff. And then we got some announcements we got to make, things like that. So hang tight. Oh, yeah. And hit that like button too as you get in here. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. What's good, Alton Jackson? What's up with you? How your night going? All right. Again, smash that like button. We got some announcements we got to make. Glad to hear that, Alton Jackson. Glad to hear you having a good night, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. Smash that like button. So, we 2 minutes in. I think that's a little YouTube barrier for censorship, whatever you want to call it. So, getting right to it, we got some announcements for this season. For the new season, of course, we have NFL pregame pick'em starting on Thursday, tomorrow night. That is for week one, making all the picks and things like that. So, if you asking me right now, who gonna win this game, who gonna win that game? Wait till Thursday. You'll have your questions answered on that. NFL weekly recaps like usual, but this time we have a little bit of a twist. We now have YouTube memberships. There are two tiers, starter and pro. The starter is $3.99 and includes members only live chats, especially during the 1 p.m. or 4:30 p.m. games if you're on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, what's that, 10 a.m., 1 p.m., whatever that is for you. Exclusive live streams where we could chop it up, talk about the game, break down things like that. Also, there will be some exclusive primetime games, whether it be obviously not Thursday because that's rigged, the pregame pick 'em, but Sunday night, those crazy Saturday games and stuff like that. Monday night games as well. So be on the lookout for that. And starter, like I said before, proud to reply to comments, members only live chats, members only live streams, and polls as well. If there's certain video topics, you say you want to know about a specific, I don't know, player or situation that happened, you want a video, you'll have priority over regular subscribers. On top of that, then you have the pro tier, which is $4.99, rounding up to $5. Early access to new videos, members only YouTube shorts, as well as members only YouTube videos. So if you're not a member, you won't be seeing this. Also, we will be having member shout outs. I ain't gonna be just shouting out every single person, but if you a member, you definitely getting a shout out and everything that it comes with the starter tier. So let's see what we got. First question. Alton Jackson said, "Do the Niners win the Super Bowl and become the third team to win at home?" I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. I think their time, as far as in the Super Bowl mix, like they've been in the last 5, 6 years or so, that's over with. Those days are over with. But they are one of those teams that they don't like to tend to keep down for a long time. It's one of those what I call coveted teams, like the Packers, the Cowboys, the Ravens are in that category. Kind of the Steelers, where they don't have them just being complete trash for 5, 10 years in a row. They gonna make sure they find their way back in the playoffs, and they'll right the ship, if you will. Now, in saying all that, I'm gonna start with the what did I have? I think it was the AFC East. No, it's Kansas City. Yeah, we're gonna start off rip. They're gonna have a down year. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that. They've had a lot of success in the last few years. Super Bowls account, too much coverage on Taylor Swift, which we're gonna get more because of this stupid engagement in this wedding, and they're gonna try to make it seem like people care. And there's only a certain demographic of people that care about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey's engagement like that. I don't think they're gonna have the Chiefs. That is, I don't think they're gonna have a down year so bad that they just 4-13 or five. Was it 5-11? I think 5-11. Five and something. I don't think it's gonna be like that. I think it's more so gonna be on they gonna be around, that 500 mark, or they might still be in the mix and might miss the playoffs, but their down year could be they make the playoffs, wild card exit, divisional exit, but they'll find themselves out of the usual mix they're usually in with the AFC championship game. Because I think they played in the last 6, 7 AFC championship games. It's been too damn many. That's all I know. Too damn many. So yeah, this is their down year. It'll be a lot better. I don't think they'll get those same generous calls that they've been getting, especially last year, and a lot of games that we know they should have lost. I don't think this is the year where all those generous calls fall their way. They might see some calls go the other way, where you'll be surprised they didn't get that call. Banshee Sue said, "Are the other guys dudes around tonight or not yet?" That's tomorrow, Thursday night. That is tomorrow. That is tomorrow. Styles once said Cowboys won't make the playoffs because Parson got traded to the Green Bay Packers. I don't know. They could repay them like they did the Mavericks in some way, shape, or form with a playoff spot, but that's all dependent on can Dak Prescott stay healthy. Because God knows if they have Joe Milton at quarterback, they ain't finna do nothing. I've seen enough of him play at Tennessee. He's not finna ball out and get a double digit win. He ain't finna do all that. He throw at one speed that's like 80 miles per hour. What's the screen pass? 80 miles per hour. Deep ball, 80 miles per hour. If he was 2 feet from you, he throwing that ball 80 miles per hour, and you probably gonna get a concussion. So that is that. But anyway, moving on to the AFC West. This division got a little bit tougher now. You got the Broncos coming back from a playoff appearance. Bo Nix might have a sophomore slump. They got some film on him now. The Chargers, they're going to be in the mix, obviously, with Jim Harbaugh as the head coach. So they're going to be competitive. It's going to be a competitive division. On top of that, the Raiders should be competitive finally, or their version of it, whatever you want to look at it like. They got Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, a little Seattle to Vegas reunion. They got one of the highest paid running backs that hasn't even played a regular season game yet, and Ashton Genty. So they gonna be in the in the spotlight, but Vegas is one of them teams. They don't really need to have a whole lot of success because as it is, they're in Las Vegas. They're gonna generate revenue anyway. Kind of like the Cowboys. They don't need to have success. The Cowboys gonna sell out regardless, no matter how bad they do. So who is my Super Bowl picks? Again, Thursday. Tune in Thursday. AJG said, "Am I cooked that draft Isaiah Pacheco?" Maybe. Because, I mean, he did have an injury last year, too. So, considering they have a down year, maybe. Cowgirls and Nines are just for decoration, nothing special at all. Exactly. That is basically the same team. One just tends to make it farther than the other. That's it. And obviously, that being the Niners, they go to the Super Bowl and choke, quote unquote, choke. But AFC West, the gap between KC and the rest is going to be a lot closer than it was last year, and it was already close last year, except for the Raiders. Raiders going to be in the mix. Kansas City going to take a step back in that division. Obviously, Pat Mahomes has been in the spotlight for a while now. This new haircut is not going to save him. And it's time they give that shine to other quarterbacks, whether it be Bo Nix, even if it's a down year, whether it's a Justin Herbert, even if he's been slightly above mid for the vast majority of his career. Somebody else. Geno Smith, I don't know about that. But Pat Mahomes ain't going to be getting glazed as much by Tony Romo. Pause. AFC South, they have a bunch of new faces, if you will. Interesting storylines. Cam Ward, that's the big storyline for the AFC South as far as the Titans go. What does he do? Does he improve? Does he help improve the Titans? Will they be a better team? Obviously, I think they will. The closer they get to this new stadium, it seems they might have found a franchise quarterback. I would like to think they did. The Titans also have a history of screwing over black quarterback. Every single black quarterback that's played for the Titans has gotten screwed over at some juncture at some point, whether it be Vince Young, Steve McNair, the greatest quarterback they ever had. Malik Willis, we know about that. Cam Ward, maybe not this year, not next year, might be down the line. They do something stupid and screw him over in some way, shape, or form. But the Titans, I think they'll be a better team. They'll be a sub 500 team, a lot more competitive. They'll be one of those teams that you see on NFL Red Zone late in that 1 p.m. slot where it's one of those games that just ran a little bit longer than the rest of them. And so I was like, oh, I want to see what the Titans do today. It's gonna be they're gonna be one of those teams. Kind of like the Lions were that first year they got Dan Campbell. They weren't a playoff team. They were almost playoff team. I think they went 8-9. Something along those lines. Something that'll keep you excited, I guess. Keep you interested, if you will. Houston Texans, I think, should win that division. CJ Stroud should bounce back from a sophomore slump. They got a riches at running back, assuming they starter Nick Chubb stays healthy. Him and Mixon, that's crazy. They're on the same team. Like I'm like, how did they pull that off? And I remember, that's right. Nick Chubb has a litany of injuries going back to college. The Colts. Earlier, I said they was gonna do something this year, not necessarily win the Super Bowl or anything. Calm down, but do something with the passing of Jim Irsay. Typically, they like to honor that in some way, whether it's a playoff appearance. This team with Daniel Cross-Eyed Jones and IR5, I don't see it. The only way this could happen, it'd have to be something insane. Like Riley Leonard would have to come in like a Brock Purdy his rookie year and just light the league up, catch the league by storm. Very, very, very slim odds of that happening. Same old Colts. And of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cool, you got Travis Hunter. That's cool. Your quarterback is still Trevor Lawrence. Maybe a little bit of improvement, but that's really not saying much. And they are actually one of the teams that want to renovate their stadium as well. I know Khan has mentioned this years ago. Excuse me. They want to do something similar to what the Titans are trying to do with the future stadium with the glass dome, looking like the LA Chargers / Rams SoFi Stadium. That's kind of the new norm for stadiums. The Jaguars want to do that in the future. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is in the plans for that to happen. He's given me zero reason to believe he's that guy for that, to be the quarterback to do that. But yeah, like I said, Texans should be the team. What's good, Soul 10? What's up with you? What's up, Daniel Baxter in the building? Ryler, was that Ryler? Did I see that right? Yeah, Ryler 05. He said Philadelphia dynasty killers. They killed the Patriots dynasty. And I guess they killed, well, it was actually the Patriots was already a dynasty, so I wouldn't say they killed it. Chiefs as well. They was already a dynasty before that Super Bowl loss, so they didn't kill it, but they did stop them from three-peating. The Chiefs, that is. Easy Money Sniper Rant 5 said, my last year hoping Rodgers gets a Peyton Manning farewell tour. Yeah, not with the Steelers. No chance. No chance, buddy. He might have a good statistical year, and that's a strong might, but yeah, he done, bro. He not going out on top like Peyton Manning. The Steelers, they already got their 6. No. What I do think gonna happen is we're gonna hear some type of drama, because it seems that drama has followed Aaron Rodgers for the past 3-4 years. Actually, going back to Mike McCarthy, there's been drama with Aaron Rodgers and him. I think they try to inject some drama with Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, we know about the Jets, that whole mess. And Mike Tomlin seems to find himself in player drama as well, because they always like to put on this facade that he's this great players coach and he's got the locker room under control, but he's had a bunch of nutcases at wide receiver and YNs that make me think otherwise. Deontay Johnson was one of them. We all know about AB. We all know about Juju. George Pickens, the best crash out in the NFL. We know about that. And now you add Jalen Ramsey. That's a personality. Aaron Rodgers. That's a drama queen personality. DK Metcalf. Like it's a mix of drama. First take is gonna be talking about drama. So I don't know why y'all talking about the Super Bowl with the Steelers. Yeah, we can forget that. I don't think that's gonna happen. Baltimore Ravens, since we talking about the AFC North, Usual, I think they're gonna do what they do in the regular season, beat all the good teams, probably play down to the teams they should just boat race, but play down to their level, lose a couple games, and do what they usually do in the playoffs. Sell to a team they probably shouldn't lose to in the divisional or conference championship. Cleveland Browns, that is a whole pile of drama. A whole pile. We know about the Shadur Sanders and the 5, 6 quarterbacks they had on the roster. It's the Browns. I really don't need to say much. They're the Browns. They suck. Joe Flacco was not having that magic that he had 2 years ago when they went to the playoffs and somehow tricked people into thinking that they was going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, you can forget that. That ain't happening. It's the Browns. They suck. Cincinnati still don't have a defense. That remains to be seen if they fix that. So Joe Burrow gonna have to put up the same, if not better, numbers than he did last year, and it's gonna be the Joe Burrow show in Cincinnati. It's gonna be him getting the ball to Jamar Chase, him getting it to Higgins. That's really what it's gonna have to be. They have to put up 40 to 50 points to win games. They're gonna have some exciting games, but Cincy, they're gonna show you why they're a poverty franchise, which y'all should know by now. I don't know. I've mentioned it numerous times. PJ said Aaron Rodgers ain't going toe to toe with Tom. I bet he try it. I'm willing to bet he try it. What's good, Kush Talia? What's up with you? Mello said the NFL posted a Super Bowl picture. I'll have to check it out after this stream. AFC East, this should be a no-brainer. Buffalo Bills should win that division. They've been the darlings of Hard Knocks. As if we needed more Josh Allen glaze. He got a ring before a Super Bowl ring because he got married. Obviously, we know about the new stadium. They're one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl this year. They've been oh so close so many times, but there's been this one team that they just can't seem to get past. And I stand on what I said. Until I see the Buffalo Bills beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, if they do play, that is, if they do play this year, I'm not sold on them winning no Super Bowl or none of that stuff, or even getting there until I see it happen. Now, if they don't have to run into them, much higher odds they can make the Super Bowl. But I'm not drinking the Buffalo Kool-Aid just yet. Even if they beat them in the regular season, I'm still not. We've seen it enough already. Them beating them in the regular season, we've seen it enough, and we see what happens when they play them in the playoffs. Always the light skinned dude be winning. I'm gonna have to see it in the playoffs to believe it. The truth said the Packers winning it all. PJ said Tom Brady talked shit about Joe Burrow. Okay. What's good, 225 girl? Since Travis and Taylor engaged, will the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl? I hope not. I don't think so, and I really hope not. We didn't have our fill of the Travis and Taylor storyline. It's bad enough they was already teasing was he going to propose during the Super Bowl a couple years ago. We really don't need it now. Like with the engagement, yeah, we really don't need that. I hope not. Kevin White said RIP Streamies. There's a bunch of other allegedly there's a bunch of other sites where you can watch these games. I'm gonna word it like that. Allegedly, there's a bunch of other sites where you can watch these games. Just go it, Google it. It don't fucking matter. Appreciate it, John 82 for sure. Back to the AFC East. New York Jets. They're the New York Jets. They got a black head coach. Cool. They got a black quarterback in Justin Fields. Cool. Black backup, Tyrod Taylor. Super Bowl champion, by the way. That's cool. They're still the Jets. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about the Jets. The Patriots, that's the team in the AFC East I think is going to have the most improvement. Buffalo can't because they've been winning 11 games last, 6 years. That's the team I'm really looking at to, I guess, flip the switch, if you will, or I want to say catch the league by storm, but that's the most improved team. That's probably the best way to put it. They had the lame duck black head coach last year in Gerard Mayer. We knew that wasn't going to be a permanent situation. They did terrible. Now they got a former player and Super Bowl champion that used to play with Tom Brady and the Patriots. Obviously, Mike Vrabel. We know the Vrabel staple. He's a player's coach. The players love him. He's going to bring that grit, all that good stuff. And this time they have a different squad. It's not the same no-name cast they had last year that Drake May was throwing. Nah, they got Pink Powder Diggs out there, assuming he stay healthy. Travion Henderson, he should be an exciting rookie running back they want to push and things like that. Obviously, Drake May should improve. So, Patriots, I think that's a team that could make the playoffs. Dolphins, they're just kind of in the middle. That's all I can say. The Dolphins are kind of in the middle. Their thing's gonna be this whole drama with Tyreek Hill about wanting to be out of Miami, kind of AB-ish, not to that extent where he just crashing out and showing gummy bear dicks and things like that. I don't think it's gonna be that far, but that's gonna be the main thing for the Dolphins. I don't really expect much from them. And again, the real question about them is, can Tua finish an entire season? Is he gonna go head first into a defender when he shouldn't? Is he gonna finally slide? That's the real question I want to ask about the Dolphins. Is he gonna slide? And can they win cold weather games? Because they ain't really done that. So that's the Dolphins for you. So you think the Chiefs lose in the AFC Championship game? I don't think they're gonna put us through that much torture and have them go there again. Even if they lost, I really don't think they'll put us through that torture. Kevin said, am I gonna check out the movie Him? Gonna be a lot of subliminal messaging. It ain't even subliminal, it's blatant. Yeah, I forgot. Was it the 19th is when it drops? Let me see. I want to say it's the 19th. Let's see. Someone in chat might know. I want to say it's the 19th. But yeah, most definitely. I'm gonna do a whole, movie breakdown on that, because you want to talk about something that just landed in your lap, like landed right there, silver platter, just boom, right there. The trailer alone, I was like, wow, that is something. This is like a better version of Blood Sacrifice. It ain't on Tubi. It's got people that can actually act. Okay. It's got a better director and stuff. Okay. It's gonna be in theaters, so they gotta put some effort into it. Ain't gotta worry about this Tubi phone quality. Okay. All right. That's what's up. Mayo was the token hire, Vrabel was the chosen hire. Exactly. Like the Brian Flores thing with the Dolphins. Same thing. Then they got a black coach in McDaniels, which, again, I refuse to believe he's black until I see. They said they had a picture of that. I refuse to believe that. I'm going to need to see him do some nigga shit, honestly. I'm going to have to see him do the most nigga shit possible. If he pulled up bumping, I don't know. I can't say Gunner because he mainstream. If he pulled up bumping like Young Dolph, I might believe that he black. He ain't there yet. Dennis said, did I watch Clash in Paris? And if so, what I think of it, mid. But we going to do a WWE at some point too. But mid. That's my word. All right, NFC East, because I think I did all the South, East, West, North. Yeah. NFC East, this is the toughest one, really. Obviously got the reigning champion Philadelphia Eagles, or Philadelphia. I got to bring that name back. The Philadelphia Eagles, reigning champion. They got Saquon doing the reverse hurdle on the cover of Madden. I remember I called that back during the season when they did. I was like, oh, yeah, they finna put that on Madden. You can't pass that up. And I'm mad they didn't actually use the same one that he did the in-game hurdle with. They had him get, mocapped and everything for the game, obviously. But to recreate the cover, they had to do like a whole green screen. And they said, hey, now jump, basically. Just do a bunch of high jumps, and we're going to try to recreate it. Kind of disappointed. I was like, man, y'all could have just used live footage. Y'all would have been, you could airbrush that, prettied up and all that stuff. Y'all would have been straight, save y'all all the time. But hey, I get it. I totally understand. And now man kind of wants to put in effort because of that EA deal. That's why. Even though they don't even, EA actually doesn't even want exclusive rights. That's a fun fact. They do not want exclusive rights to the NFL deal. That's something the NFL is pushing for. A lot of people don't know that. NFC East, though. I expect the Eagles to have a down year. They're going to come back to reality. I'm not going to sit up here and predict injuries. That's not what I do. I don't like to predict injuries. That's a waste of time. I think it's going to be something that's going to happen. I'm not going to necessarily say injuries, but something is going to be different, whether it be schematically or way teams adjust. That's going to bring them back to reality. We might hear some drama between, I don't know, some wide receivers and a quarterback, or a coach and some wide receivers. This ain't the first time it happened in Philly. Cowboys. You're not winning the Super Bowl. Cowboys, you're not winning the Super Bowl. Cowboys, you're not winning the Super Bowl. I'm gonna say that 3 times so it's stuck in your head. They traded Michael Parsons to the Packers for a pack of Legos, and you're not winning the Super Bowl. New York Giants, because there's really not much to talk about with the Cowboys. New York Giants, they have a very interesting quarterback room. Very, very interesting. You got Jameis J. Dub Winston. He gonna be eating dubs. You got Russ, Mr. Unlimited, if you will. And they got my favorite rookie quarterback, Blackson Dart. I don't know if it's gonna be just good or if it's just gonna be completely terrible. But no, in all seriousness, I think it's gonna be a lot better than what they've done the past few years, especially from quarterback play from Cross-Eyed Jones. And I mean, they got Malik Neighbors. Could be some improvement. I don't know about a whole playoff push, but I do see they gonna find a way to get Blackson Dart on that field this year. And I think it's gonna be some situation, kind of like the Steelers with Russell, how he ended up on the field despite Justin Fields going 4-2. Where Russ might play a couple games. Hell, he might go 4-2. Play a couple games. Something happens. I don't know about an injury or he plays bad out of nowhere. And now say, oh, we got to pull him. Then they got the little Jameis Winston stint where he'll throw for 500 yards, have 5 touchdowns and 4 pick sixes in a game. And then he'll play another game. Then they're like, okay, we can't keep doing this. He's giving up too many. He's scoring everybody's points. We can't just keep having this. And then it's going to be, all right, man, we got to put in the rookie. And then the rookie balls out and he takes that starting spot. So it's cemented for the next season. Braun said if the Chiefs make it, they'll be a wild card. They're not getting past that. They're going to rub in the fact that Travis and Taylor Swift are married. I really, especially after the engagement, I really hope they don't make the playoffs just so we don't have to hear about it for the postseason. I'm serious as hell. I really hope they don't make the playoffs. I would love it if they went winless, but obviously that's not going to happen. But I would love it oh so much. And I don't even really hate the Chiefs like that. I just hate the way they're covered. Like, I feel like they didn't do this with the Patriots. Like, even though they got favoritism, they weren't panning to Giselle or whoever was dating so-and-so. It was strictly Brady, Belichick, Kraft, whatever crazy stuff Gronk was doing. And that one time Malcolm Butler was crying because he didn't get to play in the Super Bowl. But it was nothing like this stuff they're trying to appease to casuals or just, obviously Swifties, if you will, Swift fan base. But I'll be so glad if they don't make the playoffs. Kevin White said, let's see if the Madden curse holds up. Yeah, that's my thing about Saquon, man, that Madden curse. Because it kind of hit Josh a little bit last year. Even though, he won the MVP, kind of hit Josh. Obviously hit C-Mac. Hit Lamar. It didn't hit a lot of people. AB, we know about. AB probably had one of the most famous ones. Ooh-wee. Tom Brady, in a way, when he was on the cover, he just didn't win the Super Bowl. He didn't get hurt, but obviously he didn't win the Super Bowl. Commanders. That's right. They paid Scary Terry and they added a Diva and Debo Samuel to the arsenal, to the squad. Jetty 5 might have, a little bit of a sophomore slump, but he went through that last year in the Cliff Kingsbury offense. It's usually around 6 games or so. He experienced that in a way. So maybe they added some new things to where it mitigates that sophomore slump, but he might still have one compared to last year's standards at the least, but they can still make the playoffs like CJ Stroud. Had a down year, but they still made the playoffs. NFC North next. What's that? Guns do yoke. Guns do yoke. I don't know why that's funny. Mahomes getting hurt and missing several games this year. Bet that. Okay. Anyway, NFC North. The Bears finally got, I don't even know what the word is because I'm not used to this word being with the Bears in the same sentence. They finally got an offensive-minded head coach. Can you believe an offensive-minded head coach? It took them 3-4 years too long, but they finally got an offensive-minded head coach in Ben Johnson. Is he going to be the next new offensive savant like Mike McDaniels was a few years ago? Maybe is this the year that Caleb Williams can ball out to a point that we forget that he paints his nails and has a pink phone case and he was turning girls' dates down because he had to train and focus on football when he was younger and whatever his dad made us try to make us forget that he was in the closet. Maybe. But again, that's the Bears, man. I have a hard time just putting in a lot of blind faith on the Bears. But I do expect some improvement, especially on the offensive side of things. Defensively, we shall see. Detroit Lions, they were the on the rise team. They used to miss the playoffs, or that missed the playoffs that one year, and then they made the playoffs, and then the year after that Jared Goff played out of his mind. Nah, they coming back down to earth a little bit. A little bit. I think that division gonna be competitive, but they coming down to earth a little bit. Detroit Lions, that is. They not finna go out there and win 14, 15. They ain't finna do that this year. Packers. I expect them to be improved from last year. Obviously, we know they got Michael Parsons. Jordan Love, assuming he cuts down on them picks. If he out here throwing these crazy picks and stuff, I'm gonna look at you side-eyed. Jordan, I'm gonna look at you real side-eyed, my boy. And as long as the receivers don't get injury bugs, because that's one thing that really hurt them last year was injuries and such like that. If they can do that, I think the Packers should be really in the mix for that Super Bowl conversation. Especially, or if not even that, a deep playoff run, but Super Bowl conversation with the Packers. That's what I'm looking at with them. Vikings, I just need to see more on JJ McCarthy. They got all the wide receiver, running back, all the stuff you can ask for. I'm gonna need to see more. I just need to see more from JJ. That's all that is. I don't think he's gonna recreate what Sam Darnold did last year, have the same magical season, but I just need to see more. And also with that magical season thing, because people saying that Daniel Jones gonna have this Sam Darnold like year. Yeah, nah. I really don't see that. He don't even see it because he cross-eyed. Jared said this will be the year they start pushing Joe Burrow as the face of the league. Face of the league? I don't know about that. They already showed us who the face of the league is. Even if they have a down year, Mahomes is still the face of the league. Even when Brady wasn't going to the Super Bowl, he was still the face of the league. So I don't know about all that. But as far as Joe Burrow, like he can still put up MVP like numbers. But if that offensive line was as bad as that one clip against the Commanders in the preseason, if it's that bad where they not even trying whenever he's rolling out and the other dude had his hands up like this, like, hey, this ain't even my problem. If it's a situation like that, he ain't gonna have the year he had last year. But I don't think they're gonna make him the face when they ain't even got a defense, let alone barely an offensive line. He gonna be a highlight reel quarterback, for lack of a better term, and it's not even his fault for real. Did I see Bill Belichick debut as coach for college football? Yes. He said not as Kevin said not as satisfying, gratifying as seeing FSU plow Alabama. I 100% agree with that. But yeah, like what y'all think was gonna happen? Real quick sidebar with this Bill Belichick thing. Same because this applies with Deion. Because people ask me do I see the Colorado Buffaloes back when they had Travis Hunter and Shadeur, them going to the national championship? I was like, no. Like what the fuck would make you think that? Like this the Colorado Buffaloes. This is UNC is a basketball school. Why would you think that Bill Belichick would lead them to anything? Like, sure, he can get players to the league for sure. He got connections, but why? Why would you expect that? And besides, he's so out of touch. It's so obvious. Like it's gonna get ugly. It might get better, but when I say might get better, he might get 7 wins a year later if he's still coaching, maybe. But yeah, no. They sorry. Kirk Herbstreit even said on a hot mic, this team is so bad. Kevin said they starting to acknowledge more black QBs, Mahomes. All right, Burrow. All right, hold on. Okay, I was about to say, I thought you were acknowledging Mahomes is black. All right. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lawrence, white QBs are primarily the face of the league. Trevor Lawrence is not the face of the league. He shouldn't even be in this conversation. The real conversation as far as face of the league QBs would be Mahomes, Burrow, someone they like to market, Josh Allen. They've slowly but surely added more Lamar stuff, but I've noticed with Lamar, they make sure a lot of his collabs or appearances with celebrities, it's all obviously gonna be black celebrities. Like he was on Could Have Been, Drewski, geared towards black people. I Show Speed, I guess, is geared towards everybody, younger, but he's still black. You know what I'm saying? Power, the role in Power, things like that. So he is the Michael Vick, if you will. That's what Lamar is. But he's as far as full black quarterbacks, that's the one. And then obviously Jalen Hurts, but boy, they like they don't even want to put him in the top 10 for real. It's like they forgot that man who won the Super Bowl. Obviously, it went on him, but still. He the safer one, if you know what I'm saying, too. Jalen Hurts is the safest one. He act like a whole dad. I don't even know if he got kids. If I didn't know any better, I thought he was the father of the whole Eagles team. Said BB Belichick taking a college job is a step down for him. He doesn't have the personality to deal with paid college. Heck no. This is like Nick Saban doing that, but without the whole college resume to back it up. That's what this is with Bill Belichick. And his granddaughter he can't keep on a leash. Yeah, I don't know why anyone would think that was going to turn out well for North Carolina. Because it's not. So the NFL doesn't really push Lawrence, which is surprising. He plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Why would they push him? It's the Jaguars. Like, come on. Only way I could see it, not with him, but with another quarterback, is the closer they get to if they actually finalize a date for the renovated stadium for Alltel or whatever the stadium name is now. I forgot. That's when maybe we'll see someone ball out, and then we'll see Travis Hunter doing his thing. And it'll be like that Saxonville, Jalen Ramsey, AFC Championship type of team, which is crazy because they did it with Blake Bortles, sorry ass, but that's beside the point. They still can't believe they gave Hurts a Super Bowl. Initially, I was, but then I realized the only other safe black quarterback from I guess their perspective is Jaden Daniels, and he was a rookie. Lamar Jackson, I already said numerous times why I don't think they'll ever give that to him. Anyway, what am I on that? NFC South. This one should be Atlanta Falcons. The last couple times, the Panthers have been the reason they have not made the playoffs, which is super funny considering how much of a punching bag they've been the last couple years. But the Panthers, that is, segue off of that, have been a competitive team since the second half of last year. Bryce Young showed more improvement. They should be more improved this year. Around a sub 500 team should be one of those in the hunt teams, not necessarily making the playoffs, but in the hunt till the end. The Saints suck. I don't really need to waste time talking about them. They got a veteran rookie. And the Buccaneers, they'll be in that mix as well, like they've been. It all depends on who the injury bug hits for the Buccaneers, because that's the thing with them. They was in a tussle with the Falcons last year for that division, and we saw how that went. Carolina bailed them out. But yeah, again, the Saints suck, so there's really not much to talk about there. NFC West, this is another one of those tricky divisions. The Rams, they always find their way in the mix. Obviously, that Missouri connection, Kroenke, things like that. We know why they won the Super Bowl when they moved back to LA. The Niners, they won't be the force that they've been in the past. Should be a little bit better than last year, but again, I don't think Brock Purdy is going to do anything that's just going to shock us or be like, oh man, Brock Purdy, that's the guy right there. Nah, I don't think we're going to see that. We're going to probably see more of the same from him like we saw last year. The Cardinals. Because I've seen, some people, shout out Banshee Sue, like mentioned the Cardinals should be a team to look out for this year. I think a couple other people have mentioned the Cardinals as well. I don't know by name. I just don't see it with the Cardinals because I look at them like the New York Jets. They're that team that you kind of almost forget are an NFL team until you remember, oh, yeah, I didn't name them when I was naming the other teams. That's how I look at the Cardinals. They don't really have – I don't believe – let me put it this way. I'm not going to put my faith into a 5'2" quarterback, for one, or a team that ain't done nothing in the last 10 years. I just don't. And on top of that, a team that if they're going to go to the Super Bowl – typically has some type of star power, gives you a reason for even a casual to watch the game and say, okay, I've heard of so-and-so. I want to watch this game. Whether it be last year, the Eagles had enough players that we could all name. And be like, okay, I've heard of AJ Brown. I've heard of Devontae Smith. You want a Heisman. I've heard of Jalen Hurts because he doesn't show any emotion like ever. We all know who Saquon Barkley is. We all know about the white dude, Cooper DeJean, or whatever it is, who's playing as a DB, safety, whatever, like in the secondary. We don't see that a lot. We all know about Brandon Grant. People of those names. There's enough star power there. The Chiefs, obviously, Kelsey, Mahomes, even if he's not in his prime, DeAndre Hopkins, Xavier Worthy. If it's not for him, it's his fine mom. There's names there. What do the Cardinals have that is a name besides Kyler Murray, again, who's 5'2"? I know I'm exaggerating. Calais Campbell, maybe because he the wily veteran returning to his old team. Maybe James Conner and Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, besides that, who do they really have that you think, like, if a game is on, like, oh man, I want to see the Cardinals play, who do they really have on their team? I can't think of nobody. 225 Girl said the Cardinals haven't been to the Super Bowl since Kurt Warner. Exactly. They had somebody we've heard of, Kurt Warner. Larry Fitzgerald, we all know him, especially if you play NCAA football 2005. He was on the cover of it. Larry, that is. And that defense, too, on top of that. But right now, the Cardinals don't have nothing worth watching. I don't want to see a 5'2" quarterback running circles just to get sacked, even though he's faster than most of the defense. Kevin said if they don't acknowledge black QBs with Super Bowl, it will hurt the league. You think Lamar will get 2? You think 2? That's mighty generous. Do you think he going to get more than Joe Flacco? I don't think so. I'll say this. If it was real, he would have been a Super Bowl champion. I'm going to word it like that. If there was no manipulation going on and things like that, or should I say unscripted? That's the better term. Then I'd be like, okay, he would have had a Super Bowl. No question about it. But no, I've mentioned numerous times the whole legal aspect of things is really why. Seattle Supersonics, man. Seattle Seahawks. They got Sam Darnold. I don't think he's gonna bring that same magic that he had with the Vikings to Seattle. I think they're gonna kind of be the same team they were last year with Geno, hovering sub 500 in the hunt. They don't really. That's kind of a coveted team too. They don't really keep the Seahawks down for a long time. They're not a team that you just see being sorry all the time. I think it's gonna be the same way now. They got Cooper Kupp. Obviously, the Rams. They got Devontae Adams, who is reunited with Jimmy Garoppolo, who's throwing all them hospital balls. So there's obviously Garoppolo ain't the starter, but still, I find that funny. And yeah, that's all the teams I mentioned. All of this stuff is worth noting, barring any injuries, because weeks 1 through 4, typically you might find a crazy season-ending injury that you didn't expect, like say Aaron Rodgers, even though the Jets suck, but Aaron Rodgers 4 snaps in, out for the season, stands up, then he sits back down. So you never know. It's good, Scotty boy. What's up, Holy Diver? Appreciate it, man. Scotty, you gonna get those tomorrow, Thursday. NFL pregame pick'em. You gonna get those locks. So yeah. What else I say? Expect some new faces in the Super Bowl this year. If I didn't already say that, they already know the Chiefs' fatigue is real. It set in last year, and the country rejoiced as a whole when they lost that Super Bowl, especially the way that it happened too, because it really shut down those Patrick Mahomes GOAT conversations and the Tom Brady Mahomes thing. I'm glad they shut that down very quickly. And I hope it continues to be shut down, especially this year. Now, if they ever make it back, not this year, but in the future, they're going to bring it back up. Scotty said, I'm thinking this year Josh Allen beats Mahomes. We shall see. Like I said, I got to see it to believe it at this point. They've lost too many times to the Chiefs in the playoffs just to get the benefit of the doubt. Said Chargers are a sleeper. That'd be dope to see them versus the Ravens in the AFC Championship game. Harbaugh Bowl again. I wouldn't be mad at that. I really wouldn't. Dallas said Howard players already injured before the season started. Players get hurt in OTAs all the time. That is nothing new. It's part of the game. Like I've said this before. It's just because it's scripted does not mean you can't really get hurt. And on top of that, some players aren't in football shape. things like that come preseason. That's another thing in the first 4 weeks too. Obviously, I'm talking about like real injuries, not scripted ones, where players aren't in full game shape because they're not playing. Obviously, the whole preseason game, it's a bunch of third string, fourth stringers, some second stringers getting snaps, and the starters usually what they doing, wearing a jewelry, chilling, got the towel on the head with the hat, conversing, doing interviews, just joking around silent, not really playing. That's why. So yeah, it's expected that some players are gonna get hurt at the beginning of the year, not in game shape. What do I think about Travis Hunter week 1? Do I think he gonna play both ways and ball? I think they're gonna try it and they're gonna see why that's a bad idea. Like you get away with that in Colorado at the college level, NFL, you really gonna shorten your career like crazy if you do that. And if I say the best way to do it would be pick and choose. Don't have them going full time wide receiver, full time DB. Don't do that. He gonna get hurt doing that easily. Definitely gonna get hurt. A lot of wear and tear. I say pick and choose your spots offensively, kind of like they did with Devin Hester. Like pick some packages here and there and have them do that. Don't just have them. All right, man. You play defense. We done punted the ball and all this stuff. Now we need you back out there to run some routes. No, pick and choose your spots. Do I think all plays are rigged? No. Or is it just some plays here and there? It's really pivotal plays. If something messes up, a referee can always come in and save it with a penalty or something like that. But not every single play, no. Because they still got to give it some sense of realism to it. It's like not every single move in say pro wrestling in a match, not every single thing that happens in a match is that's what I'm looking for, scripted, if you will. Some people like their matches being every single thing scripted out or being led through or somebody calling out every single spot. Other times they just fill in time, unless it's the TV, the ad spot where they about to go to break, they need something to happen, like somebody jump over the top rope. All right, that's an ad spot. When it's time to go home, when the referees, when they both laying down on the mat and the referee look at both of them and say something to them, basically saying, hey, it's time to wrap it up. You got, say, 3-4 minutes left before the next match. All right, man, y'all got to wrap this up. Then now you got to do whatever spots you called. And sometimes you got to improvise because, say, something happened. You got to figure out how to do it differently, But not every single thing, no. Oh, yeah, Super Bowl logo, too, with the colors. They try to throw people off going with the whole rainbow thing, which is ironic considering they got male cheerleaders now. That's really a whole video in and of itself because I'm going to say this. I'm not a fan of the male cheerleaders in the NFL, but I know that they've been doing it in college for years. It's nothing new. Why couldn't they have just done it like that? Just get them the regular male cheerleader get up. Don't have them doing what the women doing. Or do what the Commanders did. They got some black people that is like doing some like crazy dances. It's not like them sassy ones they had with the Rams and the Vikings. Whatever these dudes was doing, it was like on some. They was out there getting it for real. They was really getting it for real. I was like, okay, I see what you do. Okay, like I see you. But yeah, I don't like the idea of the sassy male cheerleaders. I don't know who they think they're marketing this to because I don't know a lot of people. I'm sure there's some gay people that watch the NFL. I don't know a whole lot to do. I don't think they got the right audience. That's all I'm gonna say. Did I hear about Gruden winning his lawsuit and about to expose the league, Washington sequel style? Yeah, I heard about him winning his lawsuit. Oh yeah, shout out Tom Waker. What's good, OG Tom Waker in the building? Do I think players before a game know they'll win or lose? You say you don't think so? Yeah, they definitely know. You can see by the body language. Sometimes they've gotten a little bit better about it, but usually when a team runs out, you can see who got their head down and stuff. Just look at some of the old Super Bowls when they do the team. They used to show the team intros. Just look. Remember who won, and look at the players, especially key players, when they ran out. Who looked more enthused? Who looked like they were just going through the motions when they were running out there? Same with college. Where sometimes college can be the opposite. It could be like a USC Alabama a few years ago where You got dudes over here acting like dogs and stuff, like they barking for USC just to get dropped 52-3. And Bama acting composed because Nick Saban was the coach, and he wasn't gonna let that. He wasn't gonna let him act the fool out there. So it really depends. We both have done video of pregame tells, especially last year. Yeah, exactly. Tom Waker, exactly. See Tom Brady's Lions defeat. Hold on. What? You say Tom Brady's Lions defeat Shadur Sanders, Bill Belichick's Bills in Super Bowl LX. I don't know what that is in Roman numerals, but 12 championships between those two teams. Michigan, Ohio State just won back to back. Guards beat Tigers and Super. All right, man. All right, bro. I don't know what you talking about. So that Bengals Rams Super Bowl, you show what to look for. Exactly. That's a good example. Joe Burrow looked like he was like, he looked defeated. No pun intended. Come on, coach said move that. Bam. Every Lions championship has a 5 in the year 1935, 52, 53, 57. None of those were Super Bowls. We're in the Super Bowl era. None of that counts. Every year contains a 5, just like 2025. Barry Sanders was cover athlete of Madden 25, which was 2014, of course, not the 2025 with Josh Allen on it. Then ends deal with Madden in 2025. Nah, Dan Campbell already said after they lost the NFC Championship game, this was our best shot, guys. And obviously, I said before, that is their ceiling. You saw their ceiling right there. So I don't have any faith in the Lions whatsoever to win a Super Bowl at all. None whatsoever. But yeah, man, I'm about to slide up out of here. We're gonna be back tomorrow night for the rigged NFL pregame pick'em week 1. So all your pick question stuff will get answered then. Y'all be safe. All that good stuff. Say no to drugs. Wear condoms. Yeah. No means no. Of course, that one. No means no. And yeah, we out. Oh, yeah, hit that like button too. Smash that like button.